Oh, you. Oh
Hello.
my goodness.
We're live. Oh my goodness. Star, good to see
Wow.
you. Good to see you. Oh my goodness. Welcome
Wow.
everyone. Welcome to our Success Mastermind for Monday, the 24th. The birthday boy is in the house. Here I am. Thank you all for your birthday wishes yesterday. And I am exactly 1 day older than I was the day before that. So, I don't feel any different. I feel awesome. Thanks for asking. But good to see you all. And we're going to have a fun week, aren't we? In fact, Ivy and I were just talking before some of my other favorite people popped on right as we were going live. I do see my friend Jana Kinulu. And of course, we got Mark Riggle here, Kim Brown, Star Hart. We got Ingrid or her goose, perhaps. She got a false background. Linda's here, Evelyn, Cyril, Daisy, Jamie Young, Suzanne, Lynn, and more people whose cameras aren't on yet. Welcome, everyone. And to those of us tuning in on YouTube or the interwebs, glad you're here as well. We've got a big week in front of us here. In fact, I was just talking with Vivier because she just had some victories that she was sharing with me. It's always good to share wins, right? Like, hey, this worked. Hey, I overcame, the problem. I solved it. I did it. Done, right? You guys know done is my favorite 4-letter word. But the idea that we can overcome things and we can create some order. That's what we're going to talk about here today, is creating order, which is always a good thing to do. Before we get too far down that rabbit hole, though, I do want to remind you that today at 3 p.m. Eastern U.S. time, we have our e-commerce work group with Emma and Neil, and they are awesome. So tune in there. Obviously, that's a members-only gig. And so they talk about different aspects of their e-commerce businesses. Emma's an expert in sourcing of products. Neil has become very good with pay-per-click advertising as it relates to e-commerce, that approach. So tune in with those guys. And of course, everything's recorded inside our members site. And then at 9 p.m. Eastern US time, I will be back here with you to conclude this book that we've been on for 3 weeks now. Today, this is week 4. And Secrets in a Millionaire Mind, T. Harv Eker, the final 3 wealth files, and then the epilogue or, whatever is at the end, which includes a sales pitch. And if you're following along with the book study group, I told you also read the sales pitch. That's part of the book, right? Read the copy, read your junk mail. Okay. That's a good thing to do because people paid money to expert copywriters to write that stuff. So anyway, so we're going to go ahead and conclude that book tonight. And then we're going to be on to Maxwell Maltz, his classic Psycho-Cybernetics. So if you don't have a copy of that, go ahead and grab it, assuming you want to study, classic writings and see how you can apply these ideas into your life. Then go ahead and buy that book. So what are we talking about today? Creating order. So Ivy and I just had a little bit of time one-on-one where we talked about how she and Ivy, maybe you want to come out here, and I don't want to take words out of your mouth or twist what you said, but here's what I got from our little dialogue, was that there was a critical mass of not necessarily disarray or disorder, but approaching overwhelm. Kind of like there's all this stuff that needs to happen. So it's kind of an overwhelmed condition or a disorderly condition, like too much random stuff, not enough things done or in order. And so she just said, that's it. I'm in control. I'm a VA. I'm putting stuff in order, right? I'm making sure I know where stuff is. And I'm compartmentalizing this project, that project. And guess what? She got more stuff done. And here she is with a smile on her face. Actually, I couldn't see your smile, VA, because your camera wasn't on. But if it was on, I'm certain that I would be seeing your smile. Do you want to come out here and just say a couple words? Because you inspired me this morning. And I think you could inspire everyone else with your perspectives, right?
My camera is so off, but I just feel, oh my God, a lot more stuff is in order. It's those little niggly things that you kind of go, you'll do later when you have time for, but you never really make time to get around to those things. And I don't know if you know anything about me, everything has its place and every place has its thing. The second one or two things are out of place, I can only stomach that for so long. So just imagine dozens of things not in the right place. It was doing my head in. And like I said to you, John, I just had to get sick and tired of being sick and tired of the state of things, right? And I just said to myself, if I don't make the time for this, it's not going to get done. And so I talked to myself this weekend and I just thought systematically, in order of priority, what do you need to get? And yesterday I just blitzed. I just went through the list and yeah. So everything, there's order is restored.
Right, right. Well, all success is orderly, right? If you look at, like, for example, a machine, it works a proper way. And you know, if it's not in order, it's in a state of disorder, right? And we do not get the production out of that machine, right? So order is a really good thing. Now, in your case, like myself, you like things in their place. Here's my question, Ivier, if I could bring you out here again. How did someone who intends to and who appreciates and celebrates order find themselves having accumulated random things and disorder, right? How does that happen when it's already your known intent to keep order? You're muted.
So, I mean, I had a lot of deadlines. I mean, the last 6 weeks to maybe 2 months have been manic at work because volume of business has just gone through the roof. And so I've pretty much been presenting papers to my board, oh my God, at least twice a week. And that means I've had to work weekends to turn stuff around. It's just been crazy. So other things had to take a back seat. I just had to put some things on the back burner because I just couldn't do it all, right? And there's only so much of back burner stuff that I can handle. I mean, like you'll notice I've missed quite a few sessions on here because I've literally been working flat out. But I just got to a point this week when I thought, you know what, enough is enough. Something has to, I can't carry on like this. And it was affecting my home front where, for example, I mean, this is just a random example. So I went to Costco and I got a few things. And you know, Costco, they don't do anything miniature sizes, right? So you offload and you got massive tons of stuff everywhere, right? And I just hadn't put stuff away. So you can imagine coming back at 3 a.m. where all I want to do is just, oh my God, crawl, have a shower, crawl into bed, and that's it. But I kept bumping into stuff. And because now the hospitality sector here has opened up. And so that's another sector that I'm involved in. And so the last 3 or 4 nights, pretty much nonstop, I've been back to back, which is my camera is off, by the way. And Friday night, I got home Saturday morning, bumped into stuff, stumped my toes. Saturday night into Sunday morning, same thing. There's only so much bumping into stuff I could handle. And you don't want to know the choice words I was using. But there was nobody to blame but myself. All it was going to take was just make the time and put the stuff away, right? And so yesterday I just said, you know what? Enough is enough. If it means I've got to get out of bed a half hour earlier, or that line I was going to have, cut it short, whatever it is, I actually scheduled it in and I said, this is it. We are doing this today. No more bumping into stuff. No more stomping my toes. No more using choice. I'm sure my neighbors heard me curse and they probably thought, what is going on with that woman in the house, right?
Welcome to the neighborhood. Yeah.
So that's just a random example, but it just got, it just got to me. And I just thought, this is not me. I unpack and everything is put away. So why have I left this stuff in the middle of the walkway? That was it. So that's just one random example. But yeah.
Okay. So the point is that despite your typical operating strategy of having things in their place, you had an unreasonable schedule impinging upon you, and you allowed more randomity in, and then you recovered from that. You said enough is enough. You got to get a little bit loud. Your neighbors enjoyed that, and you just created order, which was cathartic. Right now you've got the environment in which you can produce to your liking.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Great. Thank you, Ivier. Thank you for that.
Thanks, John.
Full report. That was beautiful. Here's why it's beautiful, because what's the contrast of that? My daughter. I know I've mentioned my daughter plenty of times. I love my daughter, Trinity. She's wonderful. Someday she and Star's daughter, Elvie, are going to meet. on some continent somewhere. And but my daughter Trinity just spreads. She just like, oh, I'll play with this, and then like it spreads, like it's there now. And then here's this other stuff. Like everywhere she goes, there's like evidence, and it compounds, right? And so, like, why is that? Why do you do that? Now, obviously, if someone like Ivier, who intends to have everything in their place, which by the way, that's my thing too. I cannot work in a mess. And if I do, it's gonna be angry work, right? So, oh, you want a mess? What are we at war? Okay, let's make a mess, right? So if it's, but if I have the environment in which I can, here's the thing, where I can predict where my tools are, so to speak. This could be physically or metaphorically. You see, here's the thing. Let me offer you this. Most people spend half their life just looking for stuff. Think about that. Try that on. Try that on. Think about the amount of freaking time that is just ejected from one's productive, waking hours, just looking for stuff. Where's my phone? Where's my keys? Where did you put the other thing? All right. Where should we go? Right. This is in some ways could be likened to indecision. Because think of it like this. If I had already decided that the phone goes here, that's decisive, right? And now I know where the phone is. I don't even have to look. And there's the phone. See how easy that was, right? Mark, from being with your military background, where the ammo is, right? On the kit, right? Where the water tube is on the hydration pack. There's certain predictability to that, right? What if you reached for the magazine and it wasn't there? Oh crap, right? So order, right? Keep order. And I know that may sound, very rigid and military or whatever. But guess what? If you're here to have your life work and to have an effect, right? Well, then is that workable? Great, then use it. I don't care who originated it. Is it workable? Super. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to, like Ivier, I'm going to make decisions about how I prepare my environment and what I'm going to do in that environment. That leads us to the second point. And all of this is evolving as we're just getting here live. Obviously, I don't have any notes, or I don't know where we're going with this. Maybe you guys do. You can enlighten me. But the next idea is to compartmentalize the spaces. In other words, to have a workspace. Like here I am. I'm in a hotel room right now. Okay, I've got a desk. I've got light coming through this window. It's a bit much on me. So I got the curtain pulled over here. I got a little front light there so you can see me okay. And some pleasing artwork or whatever. So I know this is my spot to do what I need to do as the person who produces events like this. Okay, so here we are. We're doing it. This is the space for doing that. This is not the space. Don't laugh now. This is not the space where I go to the bathroom, believe it or not. Okay, I'm not sitting on the toilet right now. Okay, that happens in a different space. So you see, I know you're impressed, right? So we've compartmentalized different actions that occur in different spaces. And if we do this to a habitual degree, right? We get to the point where we know when we sit down in this chair, this is my workspace. We know when we sit down on the other kind of chair, that is not the workspace. Although some people kind of drag it in there, right? They kind of do, right? Next thing you know, they're on the phone, they're texting, they're taking calls. My wife always calls me while I'm in the bathroom, by the way. I don't know, that's telepathically, we're connected somehow. Yeah, so now you know. So can you have, here's the thing, can you have predictability on what's going to happen in that space? Why does a person like myself or Ivier, based on her own report, right? Why do we get frazzled with disorderly spaces? I can't predict where my stuff is. Where's the phone? Where's the stuff? And it's slowing me down. And I know it's slowing me down. One of the things I hate more than anything is when I'm either wasting my own time or someone else is wasting my time. It's easy for me to get aggravated with other people and to get antagonistic if someone else I can recognize is wasting my time, but I can also look at myself, right? I guess it takes one to know one, right? So where have I wasted my time? Great question. And I think we could save a lot of time and keep more sane if we just keep order in our lives and not be like the masses who spend half of their life just looking for stuff. What do you guys think about this? And I know this could be, a physical exercise that you go through today, where you go through, let's say, here's Adi, right? And she's looking at her workspace and she's making some deliberate decisions about how this space shall be this from this time moving forward. That's fine. In the physical world, that's a great thing to do. But also, where else does this show up? On our calendars, right? Do we have order there, and do we know where to be and when, and are we already decisive about that? I know last week we talked about where does our time go? We were actually assessing the use or misuse of our time. So now, okay, and that's looking in the past. That's like, oh, I spent 15 minutes doing this, and we talked about some tracking software that you can use to track that, so you can get some good data. Okay, so that would be assessing what already happened. But now the next step is to deliberately, in advance, decide what is going to happen. So it's one thing to look at the past and have, some ideas and assessments about it. It's another thing to look at the future and be proactive and say, and now moving forward, this shall be the occurrences on the calendar. Anyway, so physically or non-physically, either way, putting in order is a really good thing. Since all success is orderly, all right, well then how can we create additional order in our lives? I'd love to hear a bit more from you guys about this. I know we just kind of did a roundabout, kind of a lighthearted topic. And you don't need to come out here and admit, your sins or anything, although I suppose you could. You could do what you like. This is for you, right? This is for you. My life works, right? I mean, it's going pretty good, because I keep order to the best of my ability. Now, sometimes, random stuff happens, but for the most part. So anyway, who's got some ideas about this? Have you noticed in your life? You can come out, raise your hands, do whatever. I'd love to hear from Star, by the way. It's just so good to see you, my friend. I'm not putting you on the spot. Mark, let's start with you, my friend. Mark, how are you, brother?
John, what a great topic. Timing, as always, impeccable. First thing, damaging admission. Yesterday, I was supposed to have a Zoom call with Mandy, and I failed to show up. I was just caught up with all these other, I like to call it selective disobedience. I just was, I was doing other things, had other priorities given to me, and it just went right over my head, blew right by me, and didn't even remember it till I was looking at some emails this morning and Telegram stuff, and I went, "Oh my gosh!" So in front of everybody, oh Mandy, a big apology. That's my bust, man. Totally my fault. So anyway,
of all the people to stand up, you stood up, Mandy. Mandy.
Yeah, I know. That's so damaging admission. That's like capital damaging. Okay, so sorry about that, Mandy. Speaking of regimentation, you're not in a black shirt. So your decision
got
power.
A little bit of art. Yeah,
okay, it's got a little. Okay, all right. But I know you've talked about that too. The whole idea of just reducing, the level of decision making, so you have room for other things. I think I violate that constantly, and it's interesting because just what you had mentioned today. There's a reason that literally when we are out and about, and I'm speaking Marine Corps stuff, why we wear our Molly gear, what we call Molly gear, and why we wear it in a certain way, and everybody wears it the same with very few differences that might provide some flexibility for that particular person in the way they think, but where you put the first aid kit, where you generally put your ammunition, where you carry certain things. And why is that? Because when the you know what's hitting the fan and there's a lot of activity, there's not a lot of thought. You're just reacting. And if something happens to somebody, you know right where to go. And if that person is lying down or in some position that you don't even know who you're dealing with, it's just somebody you have to get to, you know right where to go, where to grab, you know what's going to be in there. It's that whole reduction of decision fatigue, right? It's you're taking all that away so you're just reacting and you're just making things happen and you're creating a very efficient or a more efficient environment in order to accomplish or get that done thing done. So I mean I get that, but boy, I got to tell you, when I retired in 2006, it's been a while. So I'm still playing catch up guy. Retirement got a hold of me the first few years, and thanks to you, I've been, it's a slog. I'm getting back there, but not every day's a smooth ride, as I and Mandy found out yesterday. So again, I apologize to Mandy, but I'll take care of that. We'll get that squared away. So
All right.
anyway,
She forgave you, she says. All right, very good. Well, Vivier says that it was cathartic, right? It's like therapeutic to just be like, you know what, screw this. I'm working on this space now, and now it's done. All right, let's get back to work. So maybe rather than a slog, as you called it, I haven't heard you use that word before. That's interesting. Maybe just a decision about this room or this desk in this room, right? And now done, right? So again, we can also take this to neurotic extremes, right? Whereas I like when our housekeepers come at the house, I put a sign on my door of my office. This room is already clean, because it is, and also because if they come in, if like they move one thing on my desk, like don't touch it, don't even look at it. Right? It's perfect just the way it is. So that, all right, John, all right, relax, buddy, relax, But if they're like adjusting lights and stuff, like I got the lights at a certain angle, I don't care if they move the bookshelf, little trinkets or whatever, but don't move the lights, right? So that's the thing that I guess we can get a bit out of balance on the other direction. I'd love to, you know what, Mark, I'd love to hear your progress on this, but right now, we're going to hear from not only Star Hard, but also the amazing, wonderful, world famous Elvie. How are you guys doing?
Hi. Hi.
So good to see you.
Happy birthday for a start.
Thank you.
Well done. You survived another year on planet Earth.
Keep on trucking.
And hi, everybody. It's so nice to see all your faces. And yeah, I've been meaning to pop in for a little while and been missing you all, as has Elvie, no doubt.
Hi, Elvie.
But, what you were saying earlier about Trinity spreading around the house, we have this same effect.
Oh.
Somehow. We have the same effect. Wherever Elvie goes, she deposits whatever it is that she's currently doing at the time.
Elvie, are you conscious of that? Like, do you know that, like you tend to leave evidence wherever you go? Do you know that? No, you don't. So that's an interesting thing, right? Is if we don't even see it, right? Like we didn't even notice. Okay, right? So that's a whole additional topic I guess we could take up is, noticing.
Spurts of wanting to be tidy, but they're few and far between. But when she does, she gets really into it and tidies everything.
Oh, right.
But now she's going to vanish. I know, here she's going to bring the cat. But Mark, I completely identify with what you were saying regarding being ready to go and knowing where everything is. Because when I was in the film industry in the camera department, and you're in the dark room, and you have to lay out all your tools, and you need to know where everything is. You know exactly where everything is, and obviously it's pitch black. But it's the same in our camera equipment trucks. They have to all be loaded, ready to go, prepped. You have to run there in the, and obviously sometimes in the film industry, we're doing explosions, gunfights, all sorts of things that we do in the animals, so you have to be really prepped and ready to go. So I spent my first career, 10 years doing that exactly, always being ready. And you should see the insides of my kitchen cupboards, because it's kind of rubbed off onto that. Everything is like ordered, and I get a bit antsy if people put things in the wrong place and stuff like that.
Right. Well, I'd so appreciate that. And you mentioned the various tools for the filming. I know aircraft mechanics have to have each tool in the box in its spot and then inspected by somebody else who sees that the tool is in the spot. That's really good control. And I'll tell you what, we've got so many, talking about the kitchen cupboards, we've got so many cups, like travel cups, coffee mugs, right? The different colors and the design, and like, how many more cups do we need? I don't know, but it's every friggin' week there's another cup, and there's no way we're going to fit them all in there. So that's, I guess, if that's what Shannon and Trinity like to do, okay, they got the cups.
But
I got
also,
one.
Since we downsized last November, we went from our big 5-bedroom house to a 2-bedroom apartment flat. That was quite an exercise in the stuff that you need and where you put the stuff, rationalizing it all. But we've been here quite a while now and we're kind of used to it. But it is the keeping on top of everything. And I'm the sort of person that as soon as I'm cluttered, my brain feels cluttered. And then I start to feel a bit hectic. So for me, the decluttering and the keeping of everything in its own place, as Ivier said earlier, that is quite essential to my mental health, I think.
Yeah.
To keep myself on track. But yeah, Elvie and I have just got back from a weekend away. Britain is unlocking.
Raining.
It was raining a lot, but nobody cares because everyone just wants to be out with their friends.
I'm moving to America, 100%.
Okay.
Elvie needs to move to America or Canada. She's been saying, can we move to Vancouver? So
well, Elvie, we'd be happy to see you on this side of the pond. So you're always
this weekend we were out visiting friends. We went to a car show. We went on a big Ferris wheel overlooking the sea. And yeah, it was just really good to be out with people again, you know.
Good.
So, yeah, it's good to be here with all of you people, and it's great to be making travel plans. And just, it's been such a long, hard winter into spring that it's really nice to see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Very good. Well, thank you, Star, for being here, and you are well loved in this group, as are you, Elvie. All right, so keep showing up, and thank you, Elvie. Whenever you leave me a comment on YouTube or something. So, all right, very good, you guys. Let's keep this train moving. We've got Coral and Ingrid with their hands up. Hello, Coral. How are you?
Hi, everybody. It's just repeating now what Star says. She's covered it all, but it is. I find that as I get older, the need for routine and for the need for putting things in their proper place is very important because I've got too many things to remember, and I'm finding as I get older, I don't always remember everything. So it's just easier to put things back.
Good tip. Yeah.
Even my underwear drawer, everything has its place. I can go to my socks with my eyes closed. I know exactly where my socks are, where my vests are, you know, all my drawers and cupboards and are like that because it's just necessary, I think. It's just one less pressure off the brain when things are in its place. And I also find when everything is according to routine that I can be more consistent. I've been more consistent in my the things that are my daily mode of operation, what I have to do every day, showing up for certain 7:30 calls, you know, and so having routine and having things written down. So I know that at night is when I prepare for tomorrow's plan and I write it all out so that I know in my mind where it is, everything is orderly. So yeah, it's getting worse. I mean, when my dad, I'm the eldest of 10 and I had 6 brothers, and my dad used to go berserk every time the boys were in the garage fixing cars and stuff because they never put the tools back.
Oh.
And Dad used to just go mad because he had everything outlined on the wall, right? Mm-hmm. So you knew what tool went where because the outline was already there. The boys never put them back, and he used to go mad. I used to think, oh, stupid old fool. I am exactly the same now. I go mad at my lot for not putting things back exactly the same where they should be. Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah. Thanks, John.
You are so welcome. And you know what? I've got this beautiful tool chest, and I've got everything exactly where I can actually find it without looking. I know which drawer, right? And if, someone wants to borrow a tool, then they know that it's got to go right back. So in fact, I've trained my family on this. It's exactly in that spot. Exactly in that spot. That's where it goes, because think of the time that we'll lose. And you know what? You brought up something which I think is interesting that we could consider. Okay, maybe we could even do an exercise like this. What would a blind person do, right? So there are blind people that, in some cases they require assistance, but also there are people that live alone and, they've got everything exactly in the spot where it's supposed to be, right? So might be an interesting exercise, right? Is to, all right, close your eyes and accomplish something, right? That could be an interesting training drill. Anyway, do what you will with that. Thank you, Coral. Thank you for your insights and your experience. Guess who's going to talk next? I don't know if it's going to be Ingrid or her goose, but one of them is about to speak.
It's me. The goose is at home.
Oh, okay. I thought I saw a goose in there somewhere. It might have just been in the background. How are you, my friend?
So is it possible to hire people to come and maybe just 2 or 3 hours a week, just kind of clear my desk? Hi, Star.
No, you can hire housekeepers. They will dust off the desk of
No, I don't
dust.
like housekeepers. I don't like them because, first of all, I get all nervous and I have to clean before they come. And secondly, they just get rid of the thing that I didn't want them to get rid of. Right. So no. But just to have someone to I don't know. I mean, I'm not personally involved with my bills. You could just put them in a bill box. That would be good.
Oh, you're getting drive-through. What are we having? Is this Dunkin' Donuts?
We're having sushi.
Oh, sushi. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry. And a coffee.
Very nice.
Is that possible, do you think? Just that without having more? Having more?
Yeah, but it's not 2 or 3 hours a week. It's a personal assistant or secretary that has, office manager, right? That's what an office manager is, but that's like a full-time gig. That's where Ingrid, the CEO, Ingrid, the decision maker, shows up. Oh, Ingrid, you've got these documents to sign. Ingrid, you've got, a meeting with Bob at 2:00, right? And so you sit at the desk and you say, hold my calls, right? And then you sign the documents and then you leave because you got the meeting with Bob. And then the office manager comes in and handles all the paperwork and such and make sure that your coffee's hot. Yeah, that's not a 2 or 3 hours a week. That's like a live-in maid. That's what that is. Did we lose? Ingrid's head just exploded. Poof, her... There she is. There she is.
That's too much. Someone would just clear up the bills on the papers, the newspapers, the things. Just that.
Right. You're looking for an administrative assistant, and that's not 2 hours a week. Although if you had, let's say, for example, we have bookkeepers, right? And so we send, here's all the receipts, figure it out. Here's all the receipts. And here's, the different accounts, and they access our accounts. They know what money is where and what the purpose of that expense was, right? So for me, that is mundane and uninteresting, mind-numbing stuff, right? So for a couple $1,000, yeah, and it doesn't have to be a couple $1,000, but when you're running multiple businesses, it could start to add up. But here's the money for you to handle that. And since banking is pretty much online, I don't need them to handle physical documents or whatever. But something like that, if you're talking about bills, right? Or can you put this stuff on auto pay? Here's the electric bill, and Here's the
I
bank
don't
account.
actually even mean that. Like, I'm fine with the paying. I'm just talking about the actual clutter.
Oh, okay. Well then, yeah, bigger garbage can and gravity, and you're done. Right. So that's it.
I
Happy
think
to
you'd have
help.
heart failure at my house.
Yeah. Okay. Well, look, I got, here's a plan, everyone. And I'd love your feedback on this. And I don't think Shannon or Trinity are on here right now, but I think well, here's what I suggested the other day, because knowing that there's a tendency for one of our members of our family to spread, I said, here's the solution. We get one of those big black garbage bags, and every day we just go through the house, and anything that's not that's obviously there and we didn't expect it to be there goes in the black garbage bag, and then that goes into the garage, and then on Wednesday nights, which is the night before the garbage trucks come at Thursday. Okay, so on Wednesday nights we put the garbage out, including what's ever in the black bag. Now, if someone wants to rummage through the black bag and take things out of it and put them back where they're supposed to be, that's fine. But I'm not dealing with it. It's all in the black bag, and I'm going to have a clean house. Damn it! And that's it. So that could be costly, but I think those consequences are pretty decisive enough that we might get some compliance out of that. So food for thought. We'll see. I'm traveling right now, so I can't enforce that, but we'll see if Shannon enforces that. I think that's a good idea. Ingrid, are you still with us, or do we lose Ingrid again? Okay. Yeah, so I see Virginia just typed, high schools should have career counselors and colleges have job boards. Good stuff. Virginia, do you want to come out here? Anybody else who wants to come out? We have 36 minutes in, and I'm ready to create some order in my day. Keep in mind, once again, we do have here comes Virginia. We do have our e-commerce work group at 3:00 and then book study at 9. Virginia, please.
Hey, I put a comment a little bit above that one too for Ingrid. Maybe she could find a high school or college student. They're young, they're minimum wage or whatever you can negotiate, and they might just want a few hours a week to come in and do some of that decluttering for you. My place is extremely small, and therefore, and I've always been this way, extremely organized. I believe in a place for everything and everything in its place. I live with people that don't share that concept. They're trying, and I spent like 10 minutes the other day trying to find a paint can opener, because in my logic, it should be with the paint and not scattered somewhere else in the garage, So I finally used a screwdriver. But what bothers me in my house is when I can't find something.
Mm-hmm.
And it's nowhere. Our joke is, well, look in the oven, if you've looked everywhere else, where I've gone through, I am right now looking for a journal, just a regular, it's like a 6x9-inch journal, which maybe a month or so ago, I said, I'm going to dedicate this to our book study group, so that I'll take notes in there, and then I'll have all the notes from all the books in one place. So I have some catching up to do. Do you think I can find that thing? I have turned this house upside down. I have looked behind furniture. I have looked under furniture. I have gone through every possible nook and cranny and hiding spot. And then it's still nowhere to be found. So then my conclusion is, did I throw it away by accident? Am I getting Alzheimer's like my mother's side of the family? Where is this frickin' journal? It's not in my car. It didn't go upstairs. Why can I not find it? So that's the stuff that just, looking for things is my pet peeve. If there is a devil and he wants to torment me, this is what he does. Makes me waste time looking for stuff. So anyway.
Well, I hope you find it, and yeah, I mean, it's you and Shannon. I've got Shannon's probably got 20 journals of different types, and some are orderly in this way versus that way, and this is like a day planner, and this one's just like blank pages. I don't know like if there's any decision that's going to be made on what's the best journal. But I know she likes that Freedom Journal with like the law of attraction thing. But yeah, good luck. Good luck finding. And that's basically what we're talking about here today. Virginia, so glad you're here, and just thank you for being. You brighten up wherever you go. So, and I could say that about a lot of people here. I'm not sure about Mark, but everybody else. Thank you guys for brightening my day. Welcome again to our new members. We do have several new members. So glad you're here. Feel free to speak up. If you got anything else that you want to say, come on down. And then also just keep in mind that for our newer members, we've got all different topic discussions happening throughout the week, right? So like we got e-commerce this afternoon, and then we've got book study tonight. So if you're into that, tune in. And then we end each week with Be Heard, which is where you talk and I listen. Small groups, typically. Very small groups, right? So you can just say whatever you like, and we don't record anything there. So you can go and make an ass of yourself, and no one will even remember an hour later. So that's awesome. All right. Anybody else before we wrap up here today? Last call. Okay. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to put some order into our lives. Ingrid, thank you for all you shared. I don't know if you're live on the interwebs still, but thank you for being here. Star, great to see you. Everyone else. And of course, thank you, Ivier, for introducing the topic, which you didn't even know you were doing, but I'm glad you did, because it seems like a lot of people resonated with that. With that, we're going to stop talking now. We'll see everyone on the e-commerce work group in a couple hours. You guys have a great day.